Now, so I'm going to talk in this video about a very important topic to me, which is the inner structure of a thesis. The inner structure of a thesis is something people do ask me about, and it's something that is brought up in some feedback sometimes with supervisors, where they say the inner structure of your thesis needs work. And what they're mainly talking about here is paragraphing and drafting. Okay, so yeah, that's a perfect title for this because, okay, here we go, right? Structure refers to the order of ideas. The progression of your writing should feel smooth with similar points linked together. Okay, can you see where we're getting now? We're getting to academic writing. So, structuring work is a key aspect of good academic writing, ensuring that related sections are linked together and that the ideas and arguments progress in a logical and orderly manner. Writing that is unstructured may link unrelated points, have illogical or confused arguments, that should be, and lack a real focus. Repetition of points or linking unrelated ideas together can often signify limited preparation and thought. This basically boils down to people who tend to write in a draft form. So they say the first draft, and then they say to themselves, you know what, I'll come back to that and fix it up, but they never do come back to it and fix it up. So you end up accidentally presenting an argument for the opposing side, or you present an argument and then later come back to it and say, I can't remember what point I was making here. And then you try and haphazardly link them together, okay? So here's how to structure a paragraph, okay? So look, we all need the old primary school thing. A paragraph is a unit of text with a longer piece of writing which discusses, within a longer piece of writing, which discusses one key idea in relation to a given topic. It should include a topic sentence which introduces the main idea of the paragraph, followed by further sentences which analyze and develop the idea. So examples in the form of evidence or brief quotations which support and develop the idea or arguments. And these should be appropriately referenced according to your style guide. Now, this is the important part. Where's the old pointer? A link to the preceding paragraph in order to produce a fluent and cohesive piece of writing. So that's very important. You should always have a link. You should also finish the paragraph with a concluding sentence to sum up the implications or impact of your point within the wider context of the question. You're doing a lot of hand holding here, essentially. You're basically saying to someone, look, remember that thing I was talking about? Well, I'm going to wrap that up now, okay? And remember that last paragraph? Well, I'm going to put in a little link sentence here and that could be something like therefore, or as we have seen above. And people see this sort of primary school, elementary school type of writing and think, no, that's not what the college wants. They want academic writing. They want something that's complex and complicated. They don't. They want this sort of stuff. Because this sort of stuff tells me that you're a very, very intelligent person who knows where they are in the structure. You need to, when I'm guiding people through these slides, I know where I am at any one point, and I know how to go back and forth and things like that. If I didn't know that, I would just read these off and just keep going and going and going. And I know I do that in some parts, but I mentioned that those are the boring parts. But sometimes you need to say, hey, look, I'm actually here as well. I'm the guy presenting these slides, and I'm not just going to read them off for you. I do a lot of hand holding. I say, hey guys, remember that video I was talking about? Or hey guys, you know that sentence in the last section? Well, look, I'm going to bring that back now. And that's academic writing. What I'm doing is academic writing. I'm keeping things simple, and I'm laboring the point, and I'm hand holding. Avoid the staccato. This is a very favorite mistake that I correct. Sorry, it's not a mistake I make. Signposting. Okay, so here's how you can avoid this staccato. Staccato refers to any sentences that can be turned into bullet points. So if you have a series of paragraphs that form a section in your thesis, and I can come along and just put them all into bullet points, then they're useless. You have to link them together, and how you link them together is through signposting words. So these can be used throughout to create reference points which explicitly demonstrate how the question is being answered, okay? And it's a reminder to your reading that you're still here guiding them, okay? So here's some terms we have here, okay? Whenever introducing something, you say states, argues, proposes, suggests, points out, believes, observes. When you're linking, you go because, however, but, since, also, as a result. As a result of this, Thompson states blah, blah, blah. O'Sullivan and Mallon say this. However, so you see what they're doing. And then when you're concluding or summing up, you use these words. In summary, to conclude, this demonstrates, this suggests. Now, there's an argument to be made here about academic writing being artificial. And it is, because most of these posting words and terms come in at the very end when you're drafting. And this is a lot of my work, is putting in these terms for people or pointing out where these terms go for people. And to do that, I need your draft. You basically, okay, I don't need the finished thing, I just need a draft up, and I can say, do you know what, this paragraph does not match up with this paragraph. Why don't you stick in the word because? Or why don't you say to conclude? So that tells me that it's completely artificial, because it can be done at the very end. And I've seen the results of it being done at the end, and how all those theses go on to do really, really well. So, and academics recognize that themselves. They know that they're not going to sit down on draft one and all these terms are going to be present. Now, the ingredients for cohesion and structure. Look, I'm going to have another drink of water here. Checklist, linking sentence, very important. Topic sentence, very important. Evidence with reference, very important. Development sentences, concluding sentence, signposting words, reference to the question. So this is basically just me saying, me doing a bit of hand holding here and saying, look, this is all the stuff we looked at, okay? Now, here's a lovely example, okay? So here's a paragraph, okay? And I'm basically pointing out here in this paragraph how it's been linked. So while one could argue, okay, so that suggests that there's a thing before it. The perpetuation of gender stereotypes in radio, that's the topic, okay? Now, when you want to say, okay, Bill, I need evidence with a reference, no problem. According to Barnard 2000, I need a development sentence, no problem again. Barnard suggests that daytime radio often reinforces gender stereotypes. Do you see why it's a development sentence? Because it built off the topic sentence, which is gender stereotypes in radio, and it's given some evidence there, you know. I know I'm not reading the whole thing here, I'm just going to go into the bits and pieces, but I'm doing the most important part, I'm doing the signposting part. So look, I need a concluding sentence and reference to the question again, no problem. This in turn implies that the representation of gender on mainstream primetime radio could yield considering influence over British popular culture, and there's the reference, okay? Let's just have a look at it there. Let's just seep it in there while I have a drink of water. When you break it down, it's fairly simple. And you wouldn't notice it. If you were to read this thing, in your head you go, that's a really nicely composed piece of work. But it's so artificial. And that's okay, because it's supposed to be. It's following a rule book by saying, link sentence here, topic sentence here, evidence here, development here, conclude here. It's so artificial. And when you realize that, academic writing is not so scary anymore, okay? Drafting for your thesis. Okay, so look, I finally got to the whole thing about drafting, okay? Now, students often fail to link ideas together, and as such, some ideas, and it should be 2 commas there, some ideas may be replicated. Ask a friend to proofread the essay for you, as they will perhaps more easily identify any repetition. In my video on clarity and on academic writing, oh my god, I stuck a nice plug for me there. I talk about linking ideas together. This is a multi-stage endeavor, so don't worry about getting it right at the start. Do you know what? This could have done with some proofreading. Just remember that this type of structure and writing is completely artificial and fanciful, and this does not flow naturally like a piece of free writing. That's what drafting is for, okay? And that's why yours truly should draft as well. So I would say put all the points down in basic language. This happened, this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened. Keep all the links between ideas to the side, because that's the next draft. Then the last draft's literally using those link words and terms I mentioned in the last slide, okay? So that's a long way of saying, do the stream of consciousness, do the gobbledygook, then this happened, then that happened. Do the staccato sentences. Then come along with your like link words, and then just start, I put that there, I put that there. And if you need any advice on that, my business that's its bread and butter. It helps people with that sort of drafting, okay? Why bother drafting? Well, look, here's some reasons why you should bother drafting, okay? It allows you to clarify your ideas as you explore different ways to express them. It helps you refine and articulate your thoughts more clearly. We've all had the conversations, the words with ourselves in the shower, where we're like, I should have brought it up, and we have these arguments in our head all the time, where we say to ourselves, do you know what? I should have brought up that point, you know. And that comes with drafting. We do drafting on a continual basis in our own heads, especially in the shower, where we're like, I should have said this, I should have said that. And drafting in the written world is no different, okay? You come up with much better ideas if you give yourself an hour or two away from it. Go and have a shower. and then come back to your thesis and say, you know what, I have a better way of saying this. So drafting helps with structural organization. So it helps you experiment with the organization and structure of your thesis. You can test different arrangements of sections and paragraphs to find the most effective flow of information. Okay. As I say, drafting is the main thing my business does. And I help people say, do you know what? On the second draft here, do you realize that that section is useless? That section no longer works anymore. And it's actually impeding your argument you're trying to make back here on page 3. So drafting helps provide an opportunity for revision and refinement. You can improve the clarity of your writing, address inconsistencies, and strengthen your overall arguments based on feedback and self-review. It's very important. As I just said here, in the last slide, it identifies gaps and weaknesses you may not have seen the first time. Multiple drafts help you identify gaps, weaknesses, or areas that need further development in your thesis. As you review each draft, you can recognize aspects that require more research, evidence, or explanation. I'll use the shower metaphor again. Some of the best comebacks of all time for arguments you had 20 years ago come in the shower. Feedback incorporation. Okay, so sharing drafts with peers, advisors, or mentors allows you to receive valuable feedback. Incorporating this feedback enhances the quality of your work and ensures that your thesis meets academic standards. Very, very important to share drafts with peers there. My peers did a lovely job proofreading this. Do you know what? This could have done with some proofreading. Continuous improvement. The iterative nature. They should get rid of that word. I don't like that word. Very hard to say. It always trips people up as well. The nature of drafting encourages continuous improvement. Each draft is an opportunity to build upon the previous version, making your thesis more sophisticated and refined. Gee, I have enough of these things, don't I? Why bother drafting? Risk reduction. By creating multiple drafts, you reduce the risk of errors and oversights. Each revision cycle allows you to catch and rectify mistakes. Okay, look, we're basically saying, the shower argument again. Give yourself a bit of time away from it. The more drafting you do, the less likely you are to make mistakes. Yeah, time management. Outro, great. Look, inner structure. Whenever your supervisor mentions your inner structure needs some work, pop into this video, have a look at the slides, see what I'm talking about, and you really can't go wrong. There is this sort of allure of I need to write like the other academics do in their published books, but that's not true. You just need to keep things simple. And the main thing to take away from this video is signposting words. There's a slide there with all the signposting words. If you Google signposting, link words, screw words, that type of stuff, you'll find reams and reams and reams of examples. So if you're ever stuck, remember, link words is the key word there.